Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. And please follow us on our YouTube page, StockBookie, for the latest videos and our live streaming intraday action. So let's get right into the daily SPY. Again, we're right into double top. We made an intraday high yesterday, or a 52-week high yesterday, and today we could not take that out even on the light volume. But we did have a pretty good, or an okay gap down. Pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good for what we've had lately. And then the light volume took over. We got above the MAs, and then we floated up and tried to attack the all-time high. But we did fill the gap here. That was a nice, pop in, pulled back a little bit, but just kept going. 56 million on the day with after hours action, so not a lot. So let's get into the daily. We are into the double top, and then there's a trend line also connecting a couple highs going into price right now. So let's see if this can continue up, or does it go sideways with the MAs curling in the price and possibly for maybe 225 area. We'll call that out, another $5 possibly. If you are short this one, hang tight. If it pops up a little bit more, you want to add, or if you're not short, you got to short the SPY. At least give it a shot. How much the pullback will be, I don't know. But even with 100 shares, if it pulls back $5-6, you can make $600. In and out. So options, I don't know. Options are tough right now, guys. So be careful with that. Weekly chart, same thing in the double top. This is where this pivot comes back by, right, that pivot high right in here. So connect the dots like you do in first grade, and boom, right there in the price. So we'll see next week if we could close into this area, the 222 to 225 area on a weekly close on the following week. Because Friday, guys, it's a half day. We're not going to get too much action. I'm actually going to take the day off. So weekly chart, let's follow. Let's follow this next week into next week's close, and then we'll try to figure out which way these markets are going. So the IWM, again, just getting stretched. We have the 135.88 area, 136 maybe. I want to see next week again on the closing price on the weekly to really say, okay, this is getting real. We could possibly go up another couple bucks. If you're not short the IWM, you could start shorting this one. If it definitely gets to 136, 137, you got to short it. This is getting stretched. It's a little bit overdone. It was an index that was a little bit lower, and these guys pushed it up a little bit higher because they get a better bang for the buck, because this is the one that was lagging. It's like the Dow hit highs, that one hit highs. All right, let's take the IWM up. Let's take the IYT up. Those are the two laggers. That's where they're making the most money on these, the institutional money. Daily again, just stretched. It's going up on lighter volume, so just be aware of this. It could go up another couple bucks if you're not short. Like I said, you want to start getting short this one. The Qs again did not. We did fill the gap here, but we did not make the attack for the double high. It did pull back, but on the Qs on a daily basis, we are above the MAs. We did get above this red candle, but I want to see more on the weekly. I'll show you on the weekly that we're waiting on pattern on the daily, going sideways. But on the weekly, like I said, I want to see next week, I want to see it close above the highs. I want to see it maybe 120, 121 to really, get this one possibly going a little higher, I mean, it's time, guys, and don't chase up here if you're not long. Please, if you're long down here, think about, tightening the stops on any of these indexes, just because we're right in that time zone. I mean, it might take another month, might take another 2 months, but I mean, we could wake up to a nasty down, and then for 5 days, it just brutalizes everybody. And, you're covering down here because you've started shorted at 120, 118. So, just to make you aware of that, guys, we're right in that time frame, so be careful. The DIA. Oh, no, did I do the... But the weekly, yeah, weekly, same thing, inside bar. Let's see where this thing closes the following week. I was going to say, wait, did I do that? All right, the DIA. So the DIA on the weekly, we are getting above this trend line. We have Friday to close, so let's see where we close. I think we could close up here because just the light volume. I mean, this is starting to just disappear on the weekly. But let's go to the daily, see if there's a pattern here. But we're looking at the let's see, daily 190 area we're talking about. We are at the 190. Let's see if we go up a little bit higher. I mean, honestly, this could go to 200, but we're going to wait for pattern. This is a bullish pattern here, starting to break up a little bit, but we're breaking up on no volume, so you got to keep an eye on that, guys. And plus, I'm looking at the weekly more. I want to go give myself a little more time because we've been just flying up for 3 weeks. So on a weekly close, let's see if we close up here, and if we, I want to see the following week some follow through, and then maybe 195, 200, maybe. I mean, it's starting to get long in the tooth, these markets. We're starting to get in that time frame too, guys, where anything's possible. You got the IYT flying too. Let's go to the daily really quick on the IYT. It's been a long week, guys. Did a live session today, a little bit beat up, so bear with me. If I'm mumbling around here. All right, daily. You know what, daily? We're starting to get stretched. You can see 20 MAs curling up in the price. I'd rather have seen a wedge and then this come in the price and then shoot it up. So we'll see how it reacts. We're above this pivot here. Let's go to the weekly. I can show you a little bit better on the weekly. So on the weekly chart, we're up into these, this high pivot area. We're coming into double top up in here around 165.40. So we'll see, 167.75 is the high pivot here, but we're going to start. We have a lot of overhead resistance right in this area. I mean, we've had weeks of consolidation here. You went to this high pivot. So maybe one more stretch, maybe on Friday. If you get into the 165, you got to add more. And you got to, if you're not short the IYT, you have to do it. Because on this stretch, we did have a really good bullish pattern here. But like I said, we're just long in the tooth, guys. I just couldn't take it long. I mean, maybe somebody caught it, and this is great consolidation, going for a move up. But when you get this long, doing this, and then the volume just comes in. These markets are just very irrational right now. But like I said, it did have the pattern, but my gosh, usually after 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, you'll start to go up, not 20 weeks or whatever this is, 3 months. So yeah, it's just it's a bizarro land. But honestly, just looking at the back to the charts, we're coming into overhead resistance and double top. So and off a stretch chart, so you have to look at that as well. All right, the IYT. Let's go to the USO. USO daily. Again, the IYT was still a lagger, so. But the USO, this has been interesting. We've had a lot of news out here again. So, pop goes the weasel like they always do. But on a daily, we're consolidating sideways in a bullish manner. The dollar's ripping up. And this thing's just kind of stalling here. So are they waiting for the dollar to come in? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, dollar down. Let's do our thing. But when it goes up, they just pause it. So I don't know anymore with this. It's disconnected, and you'll get yelling in the Fed heads, talking heads speaking, and you'll get a little bit of up and down action that makes no sense in this. But right now, it's bullish, trying to get above the 50 MA. Let's see if we go sideways. See if this one starts curling around, and let's see if we can get another up move. If it starts getting to this trend line, this gap fill up in here, I'll start adding short again, and thinking about buying the SEO long as well. Weekly, but we'll see. Let this thing play out, guys. So the weekly, let's move this up. Weekly, same thing. They're trying to close it above the MAs. We've been talking about these for this for a while. Then the 20 curled in the price. So every time it got down here, went to the MAs, pulled back. We finally got above here, never confirmed, and right back down, right to these lows down in here. And you got the trend line as well. Hits that, bounces right back up, gets above the 20 and the 50. We're still in this inside bar, so that's slightly bearish. Let's see if we get up and fill this gap and possibly move up into this area, fill this gap up here, and then we'll start shorting around 11.50, 12 bucks, 12.51, something like that. So we'll, right now we're waiting on pattern, but I do like this, kind of a little head and shoulder here. I mean, with an extra bump on here, maybe his leg or something, and it's still holding. So I think if it cracks down, I honestly still think we're going down double bottom. If this is head and shoulder, if this thing plays out too, we're going lower. I'm telling you, 640. Mark this down in your book. And I'm going to put it in here. I had it in on my old charts. I don't know if it's going to get here, guys, but I'm going to say this is what some of my work brings me to, about 643. If these markets really start to rumble, and that I think we'll easily get the double bottom and then even a little bit lower. So beware, people, beware. All right, let's get into the UUP. And the UUP, I mean, we had these levels for a while too. If you've been watching my videos, we had it down here, was consolidating. Let's go to the daily really quick. So down in this area, we went up, we came in, we went up, we came in, we started going. It went to double top right here, almost filled the gap. We have a trend line, nice pullback. We were going to add more if we got down to the 200 moving average gap fill, or maybe down into the trend line again, and took off without us. We've been long those, I don't know, 24 bucks or 20, maybe 25 bucks we took it. We covered it, but we took the trade a while back. It couldn't even been in this area too. I don't even know. We've been holding this. We've been married to this one a little bit. But it popped up. We took it off, made a pretty good profit, and then boom, we're right here. We have a little doji today. Let me get a little bit bigger. So we had resistance here, and the next pivot resistance is right here around 26.51. So we had a little doji today, and I honestly like to see more bullish pattern. I think the dollar's going up, but I'd still like to see a bullish pattern and go up. So this tells me this little choppy stuff, we could have a possibility of another pullback, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now we have no position. We took it out. We were long though, and that was the right move. I mean, it started moving. Weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing. You're in all this upper trend line action, double tops, pivots, parts where it jacked it up, right back down. Let's go back a little further on the charts. And you can see these pivots here. I still think 26.83 and possibly this. And man, if this goes up to 29 bucks or this 28.93 area, woo, we're going to have to wait for pattern on that. So right now, there's really no pattern other than some pretty good up move. You'd expect a slight pullback and then maybe the launch, but it did pull back here. So let's see how far this can run. It is getting stretched. So we'll see if this thing does pull back and then start moving up again. So. And let's get back to the GLD. And man, we talked about this one in our videos lately. What a call. I'm glad, and I know I say this, I'm like a broken record here. We had a bearish pattern. This was setting up to go lower. You had a lot of shorts adding it here. Then they popped it up. Everyone covered, went long here. And then, the talking heads were like, oh, bull, here we go. The Trump thing, was going straight up. And then boom, look at this. Straight back down. I thought we missed the trade here. Straight back down. We started adding here at 115.35, and man, I want to get it around 112 or so. I mean, let's wait for pattern. Let's see if this sets up, or does it continue down for the next couple of days? Because some people went long here. They're getting stopped out. I mean, 124.10. Hopefully you took a light position. Even if you took 100 shares, you're still down $1,000. But if you get down one more time, you take another position, then your cost average would be about 112, 111, and honestly, I think we'll be at the 130s again. But, one step at a time. Let's see if we get a little bit lower and better entry price. Actually, we're 16 cents down after hours on this one. Let's look at the weekly on the GLD. GLD, like I said, we almost filled the gap here. I would love to see it down here. And coming from a high pivot and a nice retrace and then the next leg down, you have a lot of longs up here that thought it was going to go up. They pulled it back. They probably sold. Chased it up, on that nice little retrace, and boom, they're doing it right in their face. Oh, I hate that trade, but we know what time it is here at StockBookie. They're nice retrace. You got to think about shorting it going long. This is where you would have went long down in here. So on technicals, you went to this trend line, pulled back, but like I said, you wake up one morning and we're going to be 500 down, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, what's going on? Remember that little place called Cyprus? Remember that poked its ugly head out one time, where the junk bonds that they don't talk about anymore, all the bailouts in Greece they don't talk about anymore, because it's been years, guys, since they shelled out a ton of dough. So anyways, all right, enough of that. If you stuck around that long, and if you're new at watching my videos, check this out. And this is the reason why it's tough to go long. You look at the monthly chart. So if you stuck around for 13 minutes and 29 seconds, here it is. .com boom, housing crash. What the heck do you think is going to happen here? Crash. This is the central bankers out of control with an experiment they've never done before, this QE 1, 2, and 3, and then buying bonds, doing POMO, everything, guys, to the tune of, God probably doesn't even know, to be honest with you. But look at this move. Look at the symmetry. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, and then the next leg down, and I think we'll have a good bounce. We'll have a head and shoulder top in here probably. Now, anyways, guys, here I am going again. If you come to my live videos and my live streams, we have a lot of fun in there. We do some trading. We try to pick off tops, and we try to, hopefully one day we could go long again. We try to do as many trades as we can. That's the name of the game here. All right, guys. Hey, thanks a lot for coming to my live chats and my videos. Have a great Thanksgiving if you're here in the States. Have a great 4-day weekend as well. Again, thank you for coming to my videos and subscribing and being my friend in this game called Wall Street. So thanks again, guys. God bless. See you on the charts.